And over to the slides we go. Cool, well, welcome to today's session where we're going to teach you a few things about why you need to care about leveling up, which is getting more productive and more profitable with your business. The Level Up program is a special initiative offered by the Sunshine Coast Council aimed at Sunshine Coast businesses. We live on the most amazing place here on the Sunshine Coast, and we have all the opportunities in the world. I don't know about you, but I feel like it's the most exciting time to live here ever. I've been here for 13 years and I've heard a lot of promises and sometimes slow traction, but now things are really starting to happen here with some major projects, and that spells major opportunity for you if you are a business person. So, as I was saying, the Level Up program is a Sunshine Coast Council funded program, and it's aimed at small and medium businesses, of which we know there is a lot on the Sunshine Coast. We want to help you connect to the NBN. We're available. We do realise it's not available everywhere, but in case you weren't aware, it is literally rolling out now, and it may be even that you already have it. Now, it's not just about getting access to faster internet, whether that's the NBN or an alternative provider, but we also want to help you utilise digital tools, innovation and business solutions to improve your productivity, profitability and the ability to compete nationally and internationally where desired. So how do we do that? First up, I should tell you a bit more about who's taking today. My name's Yvette Adams, and I am from the Creative Collective, the Training Collective, and AwardsHub.com, 3 Sunshine Coast-based businesses doing business nationally and internationally. As you can probably tell from my accent, I was born and raised in New Zealand. I left at 21 to travel the world, and I wound up here on the Sunshine Coast after 3 round-the-world trips and lots of media, marketing, communications work around the world in the year 2004. I'm a mum. I've got 2 kids, aged 10 and 13. I'm a bit of an entrepreneur, I guess you could say, because I've started 6 businesses along the way, sold 2 of them, and I'm now running the 3. So our company, the Training Collective and Creative Collective, actually successfully tendered to win this contract with Council. So we've been developing and we will be delivering this program. So that's why I'm here today to explain it all to you. I get to do some pretty cool stuff with what I do. I've won quite a few business awards, including IT Woman of the Year and Telstra Business Women's Award. I get asked to do cool stuff like speak for Google and all sorts of organisations on things like digital change and trends and things, and I live and breathe this stuff. So I have my own show about young entrepreneurs, that should say on the slide. I'm the chair of the Knowledge and Professional Services Task Force for the Sunshine Coast Council, a role I'm really proud of, where we drive projects around that being one of the high value industries. And then I'm also the chair of the Australian Institute of Company Directors on the Sunshine Coast. So quite involved in the community. Really care about living here, really care about making it be a better place for my children to grow up in, and wanting to see it develop economically so that there are jobs and there are opportunities, and that even entrepreneurs who want to run their own business and call their own hours and have an unlimited earnings potential can do all of that. So why the name Level Up? Well, if you're a gamer, you might have heard of this concept, and it's a little bit trendy. My son says level up is something he and his friends would say. Basically, we think business is a bit like a game. I don't know if you agree. Drop me a chat if you do. But surviving in business is a lot like a game. You start at level 1, and as you become more skilled, you work your way up the levels. So with this program, we don't care where you're starting. If you are saying, I'm really not digital in my business, I don't have an online account system, I don't store things online, I process everything in paper, we would say you're at level 1. So let's start there and let's make some improvement. If maybe you do have your accounts online, but you still do a lot of email, you're not really collaborating online in real time, you don't have dashboards to monitor your business, maybe you're a level 4 or an 8. We've actually got an assessment tool I can show you on our website, so you can go and get a bit of an idea of where you're starting from. And even if you're a level 8 or 10, we'd love to take you to a 12. So that's what this program is about, no matter where you're starting in the game, getting some new skills and building your way up. So we believe you have to have digital skills if you want to not just thrive, but actually survive in the modern era. So, you know, what are you waiting for? Let's play. Here's the issue and why you really need to think about this game. I don't know if you're aware, but Amazon, pretty large global company, is starting in September in Australia. So they've actually owned land at Sydney Airport for a number of years, and I've wondered when they were going to activate. Now they've actually announced it's September. What this means is that people can get an Amazon card about 60 bucks last I knew in the UK. And then you can order just about anything online and it arrives the next day. And as a small business on the Sunshine Coast, if you sell something that they are going to sell on Amazon, that could become very hard for you to compete if you can't sell it at the same price or cheaper price, and you can't deliver it the next day, and you can't order it online. So, you know, not only that, the whole supply chain of maybe where you get your stuff from, people can now get it closer to the source. So watch this, think about what it means for your business, and you've really, this is high time, you've got to get more productive and profitable, maybe even change your business model. Another e-commerce juggernaut has also already arrived in Australia. They've set up offices in Melbourne. Alibaba came out of China. It is the biggest e-commerce store, probably because you know, China has a massive population. But you can buy from Australia now from Alibaba. Again, just about anything. So cheap, very hard to compete. You know, clothing and bunches of other stuff. So again, consider what that means for your business. Another totally different thing to be aware of, I'm just trying to sort of paint a picture of all the things going on at the moment and why this is important to think about, is even big companies don't always get it right when it is being productive and being profitable and moving fast. So I was in Mackay recently, and there was a big Bunnings warehouse, and right next to it a big Masters warehouse, and Masters actually closed all its doors in December. And what a shame to see all those jobs go in these big vacant spots. And we're seeing more and more of this because industries are just being disrupted. Here's another one, Blockbuster, probably one that you are very aware of. You know, once upon a time, we used to go to the video store on a rainy day and get candy, lollies, and some videos. And now with the advent of things like Netflix and streaming, Stan, and all the other options out there, that is a defunct, dead duck, no longer required business. So you've got to keep on working out where this is going. Whole industries keep being disrupted. The way you do business may need to change. You need to be doing it cost effectively, productively, to be competitive. And it is an international market. It depends what you do, obviously, but you know, even if you're on the Sunshine Coast, you can potentially be selling to the rest of Australia, which is only 1% of the e-commerce market, or the whole of the world, or other larger markets. And if you can, wouldn't it be great to see that happen? We've got, in terms of some exciting projects, the NBN rolling out, which is great, but we're also here on the Sunshine Coast exploring the possibility of an undersea internet cable in our region, which could be an absolute game changer. So I don't know if you're aware, but there's very few internet cables coming into this country, and they basically provide the internet for the whole country. We have done some preliminary studies, the council have, and they have discovered that topographically, geographically, the Sunshine Coast actually makes a lot of sense. So there's still due diligence processes going through. You might say, well, what does that mean for me? Well, bringing in another cable could sort of propagate whole new industries around data centers, servers. You could have access to maybe faster internet, maybe cheaper packages. And then again, it's not about having faster internet, it's actually what you do with that faster internet. So for some industries like defense, share markets and things, a few seconds shaved off their internet speed, being faster, makes a big difference in what they can do with it. Now, there's lots of learnings to be had because the NBN has actually been rolling out across Australia. Don't know if you know, but just to make sure, NBN is National Broadband Network. And obviously we've been through a couple of governments through that phase, but here's a great case study, Burnie, Tasmania, one of the first places to get it. And pretty much they got it. What a great opportunity to invigorate that economy, do something different with it. And they actually didn't do very much at all. So the Sunshine Coast Council don't want to squander the opportunity of the NBN finally coming to here. And even again, if you don't want to access NBN, there is also alternative providers. I guess we're appealing to you to say, get faster internet and we'll teach you some of the cool things you can do that will make a direct impact on your business. Just to skip back, a lot of people we talk to say, I haven't got the time to research where I get faster internet. And look, guys, I totally appreciate that. I'm a small business owner. Our internet here in Maroochydore just wasn't good enough. So we are lucky we had a staff member ring around, but that took a lot of time. So through this program, we can connect you to the different telcos. We have a direct line to them. And so you can do your research on how to get faster internet and how to make that really easy. So I will say as well, if you haven't got the time to get faster internet, think about the time you're wasting on slow internet per year as well. So you might want to invest a little time to get faster internet to increase your productivity for starters. The other excuse I usually hear is I haven't got the money. Some people look into faster internet options and or systems and say, I can't afford that, I'm a small business owner. We're very mindful of that on this program, and we have managed to source some really, we think, affordable packages from the different telco providers that we can connect you to, and we will send out an email post this with some of their contact details so you can investigate them. Some say I haven't got the money, I'm not a big enterprise, I can't afford to custom create an IT solution or go out and buy something that might cost me hundreds or thousands of dollars per month. That is not what we're asking you to do. Through the Level Up program, we will introduce you to programs and softwares which are free or very cheap, often on a subscription basis. So you can start small on a small subscription and grow it as your business grows or as you have more staff and more needs. And the cool thing about the software as well is rather than invest lots and lots of money in one piece of software and then after a while it doesn't really serve your business, you can be more agile and you can jump from one software to the next and change it up. My company have certainly done this over the years. We actually went fully cloud around 2009, so started 2007. And at the time I was working from home around my two small children, and I certainly didn't have the money to be investing in lots of expensive systems. But I did go hunting and I did pick the best systems I could find, and they were all online. And I do think that is partly why we've won some awards, because we've been able to be really efficient, and I didn't realize at the time, but really pioneering and going cloud or all online with all our business operations from a very early part of our business. And I get that it's harder when you're sort of further down the track, but I appeal to you to still look at that. Even today, we're an operation of 10 staff, about 40 contractors, 2 offices. We have recently changed systems. So we used to be on FreshBooks, was an account system. We're now on Xero because it fulfilled our needs better. We got a system called Call Tracking Metrics, which allows us to take phone calls and log them, which feeds straight into our CRM, which feeds straight into our Xero, which is our account system. And that's what I'm talking about. No longer do we have to enter that in 3 different places manually. We can take the call and it all starts the process. So we're talking about what systems could you use to save yourself time and money, and how can we get those systems integrating so that you have a more efficient and better business, which will probably lead to better customer service as well. So if you get on here today and do nothing else, I want to give you some tips on what I would be doing if I were you. First up, I would be checking what internet speed you have, and in just a moment I'll show you how to do that. Second up, I would be accessing faster internet where available. There are many options. Third up, reviewing your current business systems and procedures and improving productivity and profitability. So I do also think our company's success has been a large part of creating systems and procedures and always trying to get some efficiency. Sometimes it's like short-term pain for long-term gain because of the time you save. And I would also implore you to take your whole team on the journey. It's no good if you go, hey team, we've got a new system at Xero, we're doing accounts on it, and leave them to it without any training, any checkpoints, any direction on how an invoice should be raised and how to be consistent and all the rest of it. But if you do empower them all to do it and get them to understand the point, then you will have a great implementation and we'll get some great outcomes. And I'd also implore you to make it a priority, because as I said, if you don't look at this and do a good job of it, you just might not exist anymore. It's that important. You can keep being busy in business, but there'll be no business to be busy in if you're not making any money or not enough money to stay alive. So how many of you have heard of speed tests? Drop me a line on the chat if you have. And I will be taking questions at the end, by the way. So speedtest.net is pretty cool. You can see you can either go on it on your phone, but do be aware that's going to analyze if you're not at a Wi-Fi point, your 4G or phone connection, 3G. But if you go to speedtest.net, you basically click on this big green button and hit begin test. And what this is going to give you is your internet speed here today. So you guys can go ahead and do it while you're live on the webinar if you want. It's fascinating stuff. And do it at home, do it at the office if they're two separate places. If you're a home-based business, obviously having good internet at home is very important. And then having that will help you understand what you've got. And when you're starting to get quoted different speeds from the telcos, you'll realize, wow, that's 4 times faster or 10 times faster or whatever it may be. And in terms of what you can do with it, we'll explain that in the program. But let me tell you, gosh, it can change. I mean, we got fast internet here at the office, and we went from taking an hour to upload an hour-long webinar like this to taking about 5 minutes. And it was great because it used to drop out and you have to do it again, and you'd start to do it and have to go home and start it again at home, and so to drag because it took an hour. To be able to upload that and be done with it is fantastic. And equally, being able to download stuff, do what you have to do, and moving on is really, really good. So what we think we can help you with is this Level Up program. So we want to build your skills, build your capacity, and build the digital economy here on the Sunshine Coast. The council is basically wanting a more productive and more connected business community who are using all of these things. So who are they looking at? Well, we're very aware on the Sunshine Coast there's an enormous amount, actually around 92% of micro and small businesses. So we hope that even though they're small, they're motivated and seeking to increase their profitability. So, you know, if that's sounding like you, here's some options we can help you with. Now, just last night, we held option 1, but if you go on to levelup.sunshinecoast.qld.gov.au/events, there's other events coming up. So you can come to a live session, which is a lot of the same information, but at them we actually have telcos. So you can go up to them and say, I live in this area, what can I get, what packages, what deals? And it can save a lot of ringing around, just, you know, having them there in one place and talking to them. So we've got sessions coming up. I'll give you the dates in a moment in Caloundra, Nambour and Mullaney. You're obviously on today on option 2, so thank you for joining us. And coming up, option 3 is that you can come and hang out with us for 3.5 or basically half-day workshops. We will cover several topics in one go, and they are only, if you just want to engage in the workshop, $75 because that's subsidised heavily by council. They will, you know, there'll be catering, there'll be a venue, there'll be a great trainer, quite possibly even a case study of a local business who has implemented these things, so you can hear real live stories about how they went about it and how it worked for them. Option 4 is you can get on more webinars like this. We'll actually give you more content. So I'll show you the topics in a moment. If you can't get on the live session, we will charge just $25 to access recordings. Or the best option of all, it's the most cost effective, rather than paying $75 and going to a few workshops, or $25 every time you grab in a webinar, is to get the full program, and you get added extras on that too. It's $295 because it's heavily subsidised. Normally, if you actually added up the value, it'd be worth about $1,000, and that you can have yourself and up to 3 more from your company. So let me tell you more details. These are the topics. This is what we will teach you on the webinars and the workshops and so on. So, you know, we deem level 1 to be getting online with faster internet and learning to be safe and smart online. So if you are starting from ground zero, this is going to be pretty valuable. And even if you're not, you know, maybe jump on all of these if you're going to do the whole program with us, and we really hope you do, because maybe we can introduce you to a tool you weren't aware of, or a feature of that tool, like say G Drive or Dropbox that you didn't know. Like for instance, Dropbox has just released Dropbox for Work, and it's got loads more capabilities than it used to have. And if you're just using plain old Dropbox and not aware of that, you might not be using it to its full capacity. Level 2, we want you to work more efficiently online. So maybe you're already using Office 365 or some Google products or whatever. So we want to show you hacks and efficiencies and ways to use these things better together. And we'll show you exactly how we do it. And it's like sort of looking over someone's shoulder while they work. Level 3, we're going to learn about communication and collaboration. I don't know any business that doesn't need to have good collaboration and communication. And I don't know about you, but I get a lot of email, and I find it quite inefficient, to be honest. You know, you send something, you wait for information to come back, a couple of days can pass. I know I'm guilty for that because I just can't keep up. So I'm quite a big fan of real-time messaging tools like WhatsApp, Skype, Slack, Facebook Messenger. I know it can get overwhelming when there's so many features, but with so many different platforms, but there are tools that can aggregate those in, like Slack, and get all the messaging in one place. So we'll introduce you to those as well. Level 4, we're going to look at video conferencing, because if you have fast internet, you don't necessarily need to travel. You don't necessarily need to do a a phone call 3 ways. You can actually look at people as well using technology like we're using today, which is Crowdcast. If you want to do webinars, there's GoToWebinar, WebEx, Webinar Jam. So we're going to introduce you to lots of these sorts of technologies and explain the pros, the cons, the costs. It's up to you what you choose. We won't be pushing any one particular technology down your throat. We're giving you information so you can come to a nice informed conclusion on what might be helpful. Level 5, we're going to talk about banking online and how to gain efficiencies in that. There's all sorts of cool technology coming out of the banks, and even alternatives like PayPal, eWay, Stripe. Personally, we're using a lot of Stripe these days, quite liking it. So what are the differences between PayPal and Skype, and do you need Stripe? eWay, what bank do you go with if you bank online? What sort of tech and apps and things can you access? I know I love using my apps to do my online banking these days. Rather than log in on the desktop, I can kind of do it on the go, and I'm often on the go. Level 6, we want you to learn about doing your accounting and payroll online. So syncing your accounts to your website and EFTPOS transactions to save on data entry. I'll give you a case study at the end of the session about a cafe that literally takes sales for coffees and sandwiches there at their point of sale, and they automatically go into its account system, which saves them loads of time on rekeying it. So there's a time efficiency and the sort of thing we're talking about as part of this program. Level 7, we want you to start to think about documenting and sharing or improving what you've already got going on in terms of procedures and systems online through the use of things like company wikis, which are like an intranet. Dropbox, G Drive, Google Sites will introduce you to those and get you some efficiencies there. Level 8, how to streamline and automate your business. We love automations. Automations mean you don't have to do that task anymore. So how cool is that? You can log off early. You can go on that holiday because stuff's just going to keep on working. It can take a bit to set up, I admit, but once it's set up, it can be a beautiful thing. So we have some amazing experts on that field. Level 9, we want everybody has to be giving good customer experiences, of course, but we want to do that by the use of systems and track just how good are they. There's PBX phone systems, there's CRMs or client relationship management systems where you log, what's coming in and then start to slice and dice data of the volume, the quality, the close rate, etc. These are things every business should have, some kind of CRM if they've got incoming inquiry. So if you don't know what that is, we can introduce you to cheap or free or low-cost systems, and also which ones click in with what. Level 10, do you measure if your customers are satisfied? And you should be. You can learn how to do online systems to run surveys and polls, and that can be really valuable. Level 11, this is getting more advanced, but not all systems are relevant to all businesses, and we appreciate that. But if you have got an interest in starting to offer training online, we've done a lot of that and can help you with that. Project management systems online, systems that, what other systems are out there? So we'll introduce you to those. And finally, level 12 is all about open data. So Sunshine Coast Council actually has a lot of data, things from traffic to rubbish to water consumption and so on. And they are happy to share that. And you might be able to use it in your business if your business is related to that. So we'll find out what that is and also look at some data analytics and reporting, including identifying your business KPIs, which are key performance indicators. So you can actually set up dashboards we'll introduce you to track stuff rather than looking for it there and maybe not even looking and analysing and reporting on a regular basis. We're going to try and inspire you and show you how to do that so you can improve your business. So if you go for the whole program, as opposed to just coming on a workshop or a couple of workshops or a webinar or a few webinars, here's what you get. It's a 12-week program, and it's más o menos, we say in Spanish, or more or less, online and in person. So there's 12 webinars, they're all recorded, and you can watch them at a time that suits you. So if you do the program, there's no need to pay $25 to access the recordings. You'll have access to all of them for at least a sort of 6-month period. There's 12 lessons and workbooks, and they will be self-paced learning, so you can download them and read them at your leisure. There'll be regular emails to prompt you to continue learning. You'll have access to the workshops as well, so you won't need to pay the $75. If you do the program, you get first rights to that. Regular emails to prompt you to continue learning, a private Facebook group, and mentors. Let me go into those in a bit more detail. So the mentors, we know that sometimes, even with the best of intentions, you will learn something on a webinar or workshop and then go away and try and do it and get stuck. It gets overwhelming because this isn't your area of expertise and you don't know who to turn to, and it can cost a lot of money to get a consultant in to do it. If you join the full program, you'll get access to some really cool mentors who are very knowledgeable, local, recognised actually by Queensland Government, some of them, as being digital champions, and you can book in a session and get assistance. So we have 100 hours of mentoring available. It'll be on a first in, first served basis. You will request an appointment and they will agree to do it at a time or location that suits both of you. So that could be online via Skype, via phone, or even sit down at a cafe if it works for both of you. The program components are, another one is webinars. So there's 12 of those, and that content won't start till the 2nd of May. So how we're going to do it is do a workshop, and you might like to, if you're doing the whole program, we hope you do, come to the workshop and then follow up with a webinar where you can ask questions and recap on the topic again. So they will be held weekly at 7:30, but they're all recorded. Now, there's a Facebook group as well where you can ask questions, connect and collaborate. So we've used this system for support in previous programs we've developed and delivered, such as the Get Up to Speed program and the Accelerate program. These are great when you're at midnight and you're stuck on something and you can ask a question in here. You never know, there might be someone else on the program that's already been through that issue, or that knows the answer to that question, and the mentors will hang out in here and our staff will hang out in here, and you'll get an answer from someone. We'll do our best to surround you with the support you need to move forwards. So the key benefits of getting involved in this program in a nutshell is that this is a heavily subsidised, flexible and cutting edge training. It will help you become more productive. It will help you compete nationally and internationally and expand your reach. It'll help you be empowered to take advantage of digital disruption, improve your efficiency. All of the cost of the program, of course, is cost deductible. You can then work on it flexibly. You should have better engagement, access telcos, etc. So lots and lots of benefits. Oops, I went too far ahead. So I was saying that if you want to actually come and meet us and hear more about the program, meet with telcos, these are events we have coming up in the near future. If you're listening to this when a date has passed, don't worry, we will be doing another one of these webinars and also making this webinar available too. So all of these sessions are free, but you do need to register so we know you're coming and we make sure you've got a cup of tea and a coffee and a sandwich and enough seats out for you. All of those can be registered at levelup.sunshinecoast.qld.gov.au/events. Now, the workshops, they start a bit sooner. So they are starting just after Easter. So we're pretty much on the marketing trail right now. We're going to get you, we hope you want to sign up after this webinar, get you onboarded and get these dates in your diary and start communicating with you. And then we all have a nice holiday for Easter, come back and get into it. So these are the half days. All of them will be held at the Lake Wana Community Centre. Remember, they're $75 or included with no extra cost as part of the program fee. So we're about to switch these workshops live later, today or tomorrow, and you can start registering. So either put down your $75 or register for the program, and we'll then give you instructions on how you register and access them for free. Who will I learn from? Well, there's me on the left, so you know me now, and these are some of my other amazing team. We've got Andrew in the middle, Kat, my business partner there at third along, and then Johannes, who's a local Sunshine Coast guy. So there's actually others. I haven't got them all up there, but suffice to say, we have really amazing people that know a lot about this stuff who are going to explain it in a way that makes sense, that you can understand, that you can implement. And yeah, these guys do this, they live for it, they've lots of experience, and you'll do well to get on and learn from them. This strip of people are people from the Sunshine Coast Council. They're a great bunch to work with. They're also really passionate about cheering you on. Tim on the left there is the main sort of point of contact if you've got questions about the program before you sign up or in the lead up to workshops and things like that. And is the driving force behind the program and engaged us to do this, and an amazing woman who's very passionate about the local business community and seeing it move forward. Kelly there, third along, is also there to cheer you on and works in the economic development team, as does Amanda on the far right. So they are often out seeing businesses, running events, doing what they can to make people aware of this program, what you can get with it, and various other initiatives the council has, of which there are many. Who else will you learn from? Well, I said we've engaged some really cool mentors, so here some of them are. All of these guys were actually nominated by Queensland Government as digital champions, and what they mean by that is people who are doing stuff for the community that's adding value, often at no cost. They all do have commercial enterprises, and you can go onto the website levelup.sunshinecoast.qld.gov.au and read up on them on the mentors page. But we will be pulling them in as experts on the webinars, at workshops where relevant, and these are the people you can go and sit down with. These guys cost a lot of money if you were to just approach them and get them to do an hourly consult with you, but you get an allocation if you do the program of time with them as negotiated to spend some time and get help rolling things out. So how does this mentoring part work? Well, you go on the website once you are a registrant, and you can request to work with someone. That goes direct to them. We do get a log saying that such and such has requested such and such on this date. They will accept or decline, and they do reserve the right to decline if they're busy at that particular time. You would normally suggest a few times and dates that you can do, and then you lock in your first session, and how you do that is up to you guys, whether it's online or in person. After that, it's really up to you two to negotiate whether you want to see each other again or whether one session was really valuable and now you've got all you need to go on with. So we're envisaging that some people might see someone with a very specific issue, and others might see the value in meeting with them regularly. The mentors will be feeding back to us, so we know who's going well, who's struggling, etc. And again, we'll do all we can to support you. So as I said earlier, there is, here's a case study from the Sunshine Coast. I don't know if you know it, SCANDIC Cafe. It's in First Avenue in Maroochydore. So these guys, it's a cafe. Most people understand that business. It's coffee, it's food, it's people, etc. So they actually rely, as an organisation who has gone on a digital journey and made themselves as digital as they can to be as profitable and productive as they can. They have a POS, or point of sale system, like a cash register, that enables them to manage their orders and serve their customers in a fast and efficient way. And of course, if they can do that, they can then make more money because they can serve the next person. More people will tell other people that you get great service because they get served fast there. And you know, they're in a busy sort of business area, so that really works for people in that area. And best of all, their point of sale links up to their accounting software. So rather than, you know, finishing up for the day, counting the till, cleaning everything and going back and doing accounts, that you can actually, it's already in there, and just a few clicks it's done, so they're saving time. So pretty cool. So that's the content I have. I'm asking you and hoping you want to do the program, but for now I will take questions. So I'm just going to zoom out for a moment and see what questions may have come through. So I'll just exit this and zoom back over to here. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, I've got someone saying incompatible browser, what's wrong with Safari? I can join on an iPhone but not on my Mac. That is really annoying. Safari isn't usually the preferred platform to join these webinars, Hillary. Safari and Internet Explorer is they're sort of browsers that people don't tend to use much these days. So Chrome or Firefox is what we recommend, and actually in level 1 of our program we talk about that. So that would be a great reason to jump on the program and learn that knowledge of what sort of browsers are good to do things online with. Philippa Robertson wanted to know, what platform and provider are you using for the session? I presume you mean what platform. We use Crowdcast, which is one of the systems we will explain when we take you through the video and collaboration session. Brett says, is the mentoring provided with the full program membership? Yes, mentoring is only provided with the full program membership. So if you only sign up for 1 workshop or 2 workshops or a couple of webinars, no mentoring. You have to do it with the full program to access that. which adds a lot of value to the program. Any other questions? Doesn't appear to be any more. Well, if we're done, that's great. I hope it's been a good, valuable session. Oh, hang on, there's more coming through. Timelines for locking in on the program. We've just opened the program now. We're about to do 3 more live sessions. We'll do another webinar at the end of the month. The council have quite an ambitious goal. We want to basically empower as many businesses as we can to get involved. So I would suggest that you probably lock in before Easter, because all the workshops and the content starts thereafter. But the sooner the better. The sooner you log on, the sooner we can get communicating and maybe even link you up to mentors and things like that. Liz said, was there a link to test what level you are at? Thanks for asking that, Liz. There is. So when you sign up, we have designed as part of the registration process, and there's the link there. Oops, I didn't actually copy the whole thing. When you sign up online on the website, we have designed it so that not only are you signing up, it's also going to give you feedback on what level you're starting at. So that is that link there I've just provided. So we're going to group you into one of 6 categories, and then we're going to benchmark you and ask you to do it again at the end of the program so you can see what progress you've made. So like we say, if you've gone from a 0 to a level 1, we'll all be high-fiving and celebrating you. If you've gone from a 1 to a 5, great. If you've gone from a 5 to a 7 or a 7 to a 10, we really don't care. We just want to see progress, and we hope that that progress leads to profitability and productivity in your business, and basically a more enjoyable and better business results. So that's what we're gunning for. Any other questions? Thanks so much for getting on, guys. It's been great to have you on here. I would really hope that some of you will go ahead after this and sign up to the program. The workshops will be going live soon, and so will the webinars. It's quite a lot to roll out. We're juggling marketing phase with content phase at the moment. But if you've got any questions, you could drop them to tim.mcgee, who's the Sunshine Coast Council contact.qld.gov.au. That's his email there. And ask him any questions you may have about the program, or a lot of them are also answered on the program website itself, and we'd certainly be more than happy to assist you too. So I'll sign off. Have a great rest of the day, and we really hope to see you at some of the workshops, future webinars, and or engaging in the whole program. All the best.